The quick video I did the other day on VeritasX refusing video responses on his 5 questions for atheists video got me some interesting feedback. Most positive. People believe in open forums, and we're happy to be informed. There was a small but vocal minority, however, that objected, so I'm doing this as a follow-up. Though he never offered any explanation himself, his self-appointed spokespersons said it was because the replies were just insults, and he never asked to be insulted. But I'd like to draw your attention to question 3.
Third, do you think the new atheist movement is ultimately a good thing or a bad thing for free thinkers and skeptics? I define the new atheist movement to be something like the following. The new trend of removing respect from religion in conversations, you know, the sort of attitude that one finds in a Richard Dawkins or a Christopher Hitchens.
Notice, he defines this as the new trend of removing respect for religion in conversation. So you tell me, how is someone who thinks this new atheist movement is a good thing supposed to answer this honestly without appearing to be at least a little insulting? FactVsReligion is one of those atheists who removes respect for religion in conversation. So let's take a look at how she handles this question.
I would say that it's a very, 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 very good thing. The new non-respect for bullshit beliefs attitude. I like that attitude. I think it's very, very good for society.
Do you think that sort of thing is ultimately good or bad, and why? I mean, I've heard quite a few people say it's a good thing.
What you want? Why is treating bullshit with no? Sorry, you want to know why it would be a good thing to not give bullshit respect? Really? I need to fucking explain this to you?
He got an honest answer from one of the practitioners of this new atheist movement. She took the time out of her day to give him exactly what he asked for, and for her efforts, her reply was rejected. If he wasn't open to that kind of a reply, maybe he shouldn't have asked that kind of a question.
Now, why you're upset at Veritas, I don't know. You're obviously very, very irritated. I would submit to you that, perhaps you're threatened by the cogency of his argument, by the rigor of his thought. I think that upsets a lot of people because it's rare, and he's a prime example of good, solid thought.
Actually, the cogency of his argument and the rigor of his thought are completely irrelevant to my argument. In a little over a year this channel's been up, I've been blocked by exactly 2 people, VeritasX and How the World Works. My issue with Veritas is the same as my issue with How the World Works. His use of the delete comment button, the remove response button, and the block user button to stifle dissenting opinion. With that, Veritas does for religious dialogue exactly what How the World Works does for political dialogue. So you see, the cogency of his argument is irrelevant to me. However, since you brought it up, allow me to play a clip from Bionicdance.
As though when I even remotely refer to atheism as a view or a belief, I get scores of angry comments and even some video responses attempting to condescendingly correct me as if I've made some sort of blasphemous mistake.
You have. It's called a straw man. It's called you're assigning our position to us instead of letting us define it for ourselves. And yeah, I can see how that would get someone good and pissed. I am.
Generally the charge is, that we theists have no idea what we're talking about and we're simply idiots because everyone knows that atheism is not a view or a belief. It's a lack of belief in God. Or as some put it, it's an approach to claims, to theistic claims.
It's not even that. Atheism can be a response to theism, but atheism is actually the default position. You have to have heard of theism to be able to go from an atheist to a theist. But if you've never heard of theism, then you are not a theist, therefore you are an atheist. Atheism is not necessarily a response to theism. Get that through your head.
Now guys, I'm nowhere near as ignorant as you think I am on this issue.
Insert cheap shot here.
I know this is a very popular view on YouTube, however, I've always seen it as irreparably flawed, considering it's a nebulous idea, it's hardly ever unpacked as to what it actually means, and it borders on being incoherent, and it obfuscates the issue.
It only does that if you insist on the world being black and white.
Thus, I simply refer to atheists under the more healthy definition, which is the belief that there is no God.
Hello, Captain Strawman. In other words, you are going to insist that atheists defend the position you've assigned to them. Do I really have to explain to you how this is wrong?
And I really like people who argue this way. It shows that they can get their hands dirty, unlike those who think they can just get away with sniping theistic views all day without ever peeking their heads out to take a shot or two from us theists.
Aw, poor kid. People ain't treating him fair. You know, it's not our fault that your beliefs are chowder-headed and that you're having a difficult time refuting ours. But you could at least have the courtesy to take our beliefs on our own terms.
Apparently, Bionicdance wasn't threatened with the rigor of his arguments. She skillfully shredded the straw man arguments that posed for rigorous thought in your circles, and for her efforts, her response was also rejected. Apparently, anything that thoroughly decimates your argument passes for personal insult. I posted my last video on this subject as a response to FactVsReligion. I will be posting this one to Bionicdance, because I choose to support the users who have been left out of the conversation, and not the ones who stifle dissent. Many of us here on YouTube consider an open forum vital for healthy debate. This video is for their benefit. For those of you who think it's more important to keep your channel clear of the occasional bad word that creeps into adult conversation, do feel free to ignore this, pretend you've been rickrolled or something, and go on with your lives. It's really no skin off my nose.